Yes.
Good morning, afternoon, and welcome to the Top Employer Certification Program 2023. Let's have a look at what's coming our way.
Top Employers Institute is dedicated to accelerating the impact of people strategies to enrich the world of work. The Top Employers certification can be used to boost your employer brand, benchmark your people practices, drive company-wide alignment of key HR initiatives, and to gain insights through connecting with our global network of top employers. This is what you can expect on your journey to becoming a top employer. Through the Top Employers portal, you have access to the resources and tools that ensure a smooth and successful journey to certification. Everything you need can be accessed via the portal, including your company profile, benchmarking insights, the HR Best Practices survey, upcoming event information, certification announcement and employer branding tools, and access to the outsourced Top Employers online store, all housed in one integrated environment. Your organization is measured using a global 4-step program that has been developed by leading HR experts. The steps include service kickoff, survey, validation, and certification. At the start of the annual certification program, Top Employers Institute supports participants to set up for a successful certification journey. The HR Best Practices survey provides a comprehensive assessment of your organization's people strategies and practices. All participants are given 4 weeks to complete the survey. During validation, our HR auditors assess your survey responses. This step ensures that your answers to the survey accurately reflect your organization's people strategies and practices. Your performance is rated and benchmarked against an international standard. External auditors check and ensure that the process is done accurately and fairly. Employers that achieve the required level are then certified. The certification will be communicated to you and is placed under embargo until all top employers have been notified. After the embargo is lifted, you can proudly announce your organization's status as one of the world's leading employers. You will receive access to your results dashboard to help plan, develop, and strengthen your people strategies and practices. Through the Top Employers Institute's brand, benchmark, alignment, and connect pillars, we help you accelerate the impact of your people strategy and strengthen your position as an employer of choice, enriching the world of work for your employees. Welcome to the start of your Top Employers journey. Top Employers Institute for a better world of work.
This video summarizes our program, and we're very happy to present the details of your journey in becoming a top employer 2023. But before we do that, a brief introduction from our side.
I would like to introduce you to my co-presenter, Bronwyn Davis. She is a global HR auditor and familiar with the ins and outs of the validation.
And it's my pleasure to introduce you to my co-presenter, Marianne Drop. She is a global program manager and familiar with the planning of the program itself.
The purpose of this presentation is to introduce you to the entire journey towards the Top Employers 2023 certification for the upcoming year. We will start with the service kickoff stage. This is the first orientation step in the Top Employers program to ensure that you receive all the relevant information you need to successfully start and complete. Then the survey stage. We will explain to you how the survey is structured, what you need to keep in mind when filling it out, and where you can find additional information. Next, we have the validation stage. This is the most important part of the journey, and at this stage, Top Employers Institute will be taking a closer look at your HR practices. You and your HR auditor will work very closely together during this time.
The last stage is certification. At this point, you will have done most of the work already, while at the Top Employers Institute, we will be preparing your scoring, informing you of your certification and giving you access to your results dashboard. And last but not least, we shall share some key dates with you to give you an overview of the next and most important steps.
The journey for the Top Employers 2023 starts with this welcome webinar. It's meant to familiarize you with the essential steps of our program. In addition to this, you will receive a welcome email to direct you to information and supporting material available in the Top Employers portal to help you fill out the survey. The email will also indicate your individual timelines for the upcoming survey and validation stages.
For new participants or new primary contact persons, we will organise an individual welcome call before you start your process. However, as most of you have been with us for a long time and know our process quite well, we will not schedule individual calls with everybody. But you can, of course, always reach out to your HR auditor or your global program manager if you have further queries.
Our program can only be successful if we establish a good collaboration with you, our primary contacts. But what exactly is the role and responsibility of the primary contact? Well, you, primary contact, are our main point of contact for the whole certification cycle. All communications will be sent to you. You are responsible for filling in the survey and providing all the relevant information during the validation stage. It's therefore extremely important that you, as primary contact, are available throughout the whole certification cycle. Of course, things can happen, but always make sure you inform us when the primary contact changes.
This does not mean that you must do all the work by yourself. As the survey is quite extensive, we always recommend working in a team. Via the Top Employers portal, you can activate new portal users to work with you on the entire survey, or you can delegate the work on specific topics to other colleagues. But you will be the only one receiving all the official communications from the Top Employers Institute. This includes the certification notification, the ranking, where applicable, as well as invitations to our certification celebration and all our Connect events. So always share the information with the relevant stakeholders in your company and your HR community.
Now to survey stage.
When you participated last year as well, you will probably recognise our survey structure. This has remained unchanged. Our HR Best Practices Survey contains today around 350 best practices, covering the various aspects of HR. We have structured the survey into 6 domains, each containing 3 to 4 topics. Similar to your journey towards becoming a top employer, our survey reflects the journey of your employees and how this is supported by your organisation.
The domains attract, develop and engage represent your employee journey. What do you do to attract the right candidates and integrate them successfully? Also, how do you support the development of your employees? And finally, what your organization does to keep the employees engaged even after they have left the organization. So basically, how to get them, how to grow them, and how to keep them.
Steer and Shape explore the overarching strategies from the employer's perspective. Steer refers to where your organisation wants to be and how it will get there. And Shape covers topics about the infrastructure and resources to ensure everything under Steer will happen. And finally, Unite captures topics that are unique to each organisation and brings employees together, helping them connect with each other as well as the organisation itself. Altogether, these 6 domains cover all aspects of HR, including new and relevant topics, which reflect the latest innovations and trends in HR. Now we move to HR Best Practices Survey updates for TE 2023. As we saw, the structure stays the same, but there are some changes that have been made to keep our survey up to date. We did a general update on leadership-related practices under the leadership topic as well as under the career topic, addressing the leadership development aspects. We improved the topic engagement to include the most recent developments around the broader concept of employee listening. And we renamed the topic values to put more emphasis on the notion of purpose.
So overall, you can expect about 5% of new questions in the survey, plus a few minor updates and substantial improvement of the help text to guide you through the interpretation of the questions. Still, approximately 90% of the questions will be pre-filled with last year's answers when you participated last year.
Now, let's look at mandatory documents. Some practices in our survey always require that we ask for documentary evidence. As you see from the slides, we request 4 mandatory documents each year from every participant. And 14 additional mandatory documents are requested from our new participants in the first year only. You can find the complete list of the questions which require a mandatory document in the survey user guide. Some other questions also allow you to upload documents, but this is optional. In case you would like to share any additional information with us, you may do so under these questions. Some tips for your document upload. To ensure that you share the right documents with us, the exact requirements of what we are looking for can be found under the help function. It's also key that the documents you provide clearly show the specific practice. Therefore, please make sure that you upload the right document with the right question. Ideally, you provide information that can be illustrated on one page. However, if you need to share more extensive information to illustrate a practice, make sure you highlight the most relevant pages or the sections. Sometimes it is not possible to provide all the requested documents in the validation language or in English. In this case, we kindly ask you to translate the crucial parts of the document for us. And please ensure that the text is accessible for us and not embedded in an image.
In summary, the quality of the documents is crucial. The higher the quality and relevance to the practice at hand, the better we will be able to accept these documents. Very important, it's your responsibility as a primary contact not to share any personal data with us. And all uploaded documents will automatically be deleted the year after the certification cycle has been completed. For your information, as stated in our GDPR standard disclaimer, we as Top Employers Institute will not ask you for any personal data at any time and will immediately delete any document containing this kind of sensitive information without consulting you beforehand. Please reach out to us in case you need more information on this topic. Evaluating your practices. For the majority of the questions in the survey, there are 3 answer options to choose from. Either consistently done, we do not do this consistently, and this is not done. These options typically correspond with a certain level of process maturity. So when can you tick consistently done? It has to do with relevance, that the practice is actually in place exactly as is described in the help text. Scope. The practice is implemented uniformly, systematically across your organization, so it's available or applicable to at least 80% of the population. Time. The practice needs to be implemented no later than the 30th of June of the participating year. The 30th of June is important so we can all measure the participants in the same way, regardless of when they submit the survey. As long as you can demonstrate during validation, through project plans, budget allocation, email communication, other milestones that a practice will be implemented by June 30th, we can accept your answer.
We speak of an inconsistent practice if it is in place within the organization, but one or more of the 3 criteria above are not met, referring to relevance, scope, and time. For example, the practice exists, but with different approaches in various parts of your organization. Inconsistent also applies when, for example, you have a program or practice in place which has a similar purpose or objective, but it is not exactly matching the practice as it is being described. In other words, only some of the elements described in the practice are applicable. Another example is if you have a program or practice that is applicable to all employees, but may not yet be formally in place. Perhaps there is no official policy, for example, or it has not been communicated to all employees. And a final example may be that you are in the process of implementing a practice, but it is not rolled out to all employees before the 30th of June in that year. For practices that are not done, this can either be when the practice is not implemented in your organization, or, for example, you are currently running a pilot or designing a program that will be rolled out in the future after the cutoff date of June the 30th.
How to start with your survey. On the agreed start date, you will receive an email and the survey tab will become visible to you within the Top Employers portal under the Survey tab in the navigation menu. From that moment, you will have 4 weeks to complete the survey. The Survey User Guide is a very useful tool. A lot of information is available directly online in the survey portal through the help function or through the action-oriented pop-ups telling you what to do while you're filling in the survey. As said, also the Survey User Guide can be of help. This guide tells you how to get access to and navigate through the survey, how to create new users or change the survey language.
Especially the Add New User function is particularly interesting. You can create 4 extra full users who have access to the entire portal and the survey. With the functionality Delegate Users, you can add people to help you with just 1 or more topics without giving them access to the entire survey. You will also find useful tips and tricks for processing the survey. For example, how you can provide additional information when you wish to improve your answer from last year, how you can bookmark a question to be reviewed before submitting the survey, or you can also view the exact guidelines to uploading documents. And finally, we explain how to submit the survey once you have finished filling it out.
The purpose of the validation stage is to ensure the survey is filled in correctly and that your answers reflect the actual situation and the practices implemented at your organization. So, let's now focus on the overall standard timelines. In general, it takes about 10 weeks from the start of the survey to the end of the validation. The first 4 weeks are for you to complete and submit the survey. The validation stage will run for a period of approximately 6 weeks from survey submission to closing of the validation. In week 5, our HR auditors will prepare the validation and create a findings list available to you in the portal. This findings list is a selection of practices and your answers to it that we would like to discuss with you. The scope of the list can vary greatly depending mainly on your year-on-year changes. But other factors, such as the international scope of your certification, also play a role.
During the next 4 weeks, you and the HR auditor have 3 successive rounds of information exchange, during which you, the participant, can share additional information upon request from the auditor. Information Exchange 1 is an online written exchange via the portal. In the findings list, your HR auditor will ask you to provide additional proof or rationale to certain answers that have been given by you. You can enter all information directly via the portal. Then the HR auditor checks your newly submitted information and prepares for the validation session. Information Exchange 2 is a live online validation session. This is your opportunity to explain in more detail the findings that the auditor has selected. A validation session takes approximately 2 hours for recurring participants and 4 to 5 hours with a break for new joiner participants. Information Exchange 3 is after the validation. You may provide the HR auditor with the last missing elements or make requested changes to your answers. Again, this is always done through the portal. We ask that the requested turnaround time, a maximum of 5 working days, be adhered to. This is a key success factor for a smooth validation. Once all findings have been closed by the HR auditor, we will contact you to officially end the validation stage.
Please note that what you see on the screen are the standard timelines, but your individual timelines may be different. This could be when your HQ is more involved and wants to support you during the survey or monitor your answers. In those cases, other timelines will apply, and you will be informed about this at the survey start date. If you wonder if this applies to you, please contact your HQ contact person.
Now to the final answer dashboard, a significant improvement this year that we wish to offer you. Shortly after completing the validation, you will be able to access an overview of your final answers, allowing you insight into possible development areas immediately after validation, so that you may start working on them already, identifying your priorities and taking timely actions. Please note, however, at this point, the benchmark comparison and actual certification scoring for TE 2023 will not be available. Therefore, we will not be able to reveal any data about your future potential certification or ranking.
Validation video guide. When the time comes for you to be validated, we recommend you view our validation video guide well before your validation session actually begins. This short video will show you where you can easily discover your findings list in the portal, what status each individual findings can have. Also, you will learn how to add comments and documents to the individual findings and how to update your answers when requested from the HR auditor. Of course, your HR auditor will be available to answer any questions you may have during validation stage. Certification and celebration. Your certification results are communicated on the certification notification date, the 23rd of November 2022. It will be communicated to your primary contact person. Please note, at this point in time, your certification is still under embargo. Directly following the certification notification, you will be invited to attend a Brand and Connect activation session, where the Top Employers Institute will take you through all the communication tools available to you to communicate and leverage your new status as a top employer. Also, important details regarding the celebration event are shared during this session.
Now to the results dashboard. You will be able to access your results and our benchmarks right after the certification notification via the results dashboard. If you participated last year, you are probably quite familiar with the dashboard already. For those of you that are new, we have a short video for you.
Welcome to the Top Employers Institute Advanced Dashboard Demo. The Advanced Benchmark Dashboard gives you the ability to benchmark yourself against a custom set of top employers based on advanced filters. This dashboard is built on the standard version with the exception that if you click on the Create or Modify Benchmark Group button, you will be taken to an advanced filter page. Here, you can filter the global dataset of top employers based on the continent, the country or region, the industry, the organization's workforce structure, and employee size. You can set these filters up by combining them. For example, you can select the consumer goods and services sector of Europe with top employers predominantly having blue-collar workers and are relatively smaller in size. You can view their average results compared to your results, and you can see which particular practices they have been implementing compared to you. You can always go back to readjust the benchmark group and set up a different benchmark group you're interested in. For example, removing previous filters, expanding your selection with another industry, or picking specific countries you're interested in, and then continuing with exploring these results. The Advanced Benchmark Dashboard is also available for the Group Dashboard. Where it's at an HQ level, you can compare the results of your group with custom selected benchmark groups. Reach out to your Top Employers Institute account manager if you'd like to learn more about optimizing your benchmarking through the Advanced Dashboard.
Benchmark activation session. Your results dashboard is available via the portal immediately after the certification notification. To advise you on how to make the best use of it, we will organize a benchmark activation session to bring you up to speed with all the functions of the results dashboard. The sessions will be held after the certification notification in November. We offer one session per language and will record them so that you can access them at any time. Some key dates to be aware of. So now at the end of the journey, let us do a quick recap of the main milestones to see how this will play out over the calendar year.
As you can see in the overview, the certification program opens in March, so the first participants will also start early March. Depending on your personal timelines, the first validation will happen from mid-April onwards. We hope that you will seize this opportunity to make an early start to the survey and thus be able to take advantage of the final answer dashboard.
And remember, even though you will have insight into the final answer dashboard, the official announcement of your top employer certification status will only be sent to you on November 23rd, 2022. Shortly afterwards, you will have access to the complete results dashboard, more details of your scores and benchmark data. Your certification will still be under embargo until the actual day of embargo lift. If you are certified, you will be able to share your status as a top employer with the world at the beginning of the coming year in January 2023.
What will happen after this webinar? Within the next days, you will receive our official welcome email. This email contains all the detailed information you need for a successful start to the process. Please make sure you take the time to read all the instructions and information very carefully. We also recommend saving this email for future reference. In this email, your HR auditor or GPM will provide you with your personal timelines. This includes the survey start date, the survey submission date, and sometimes already a proposal for the validation date. So, keep an eye out in your inbox for our welcome email. If you are participating for the first time, you can also expect to receive your credentials to access the Top Employers portal and an invitation for an individual welcome call from your HR auditor.
We'd like to thank you for joining and listening, and we look forward to our journey with you this year. We wish you every success in this continuous learning path towards a better world of work.